Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of How to Yard. All right, today is kind of interesting. I wasn't planning on pulling any parts today, and I really was hoping that I didn't have to. I have a lot to do. I just moved into my new shop. I have a friend that's a girlfriend. You know, I was actually thinking about maybe us being a couple. I'm not sure how that's gonna go, especially after today. I'm supposed to pick her up at the airport, and I saw this RSX. And the yard opens at 7:30. Her flight comes in at 8:30. I went down to the yard to see if it was there. It's a manual base model, but I want the transmission, clutch, flywheel, starter, transmission, intermediate shaft off. That's all the stuff we need for a 5-speed conversion. A lot of times we only can get the engines, but it's finding the transmission's the hardest part. Came down to the shop, I'm grabbing all of my tools. I'm debating whether I should go to the yard and start on it and make her Uber, or I just have to wait for her. That's a risk I'm gonna have to take. Which is more important? Anyway, so we're gonna grab some tools right now to head back out of the yard. If you saw the episode I just posted last week, you'll see some of the tools that we grab regularly. That's gonna be the impact gun. That's going to be all the sockets and contingencies if the impact gun doesn't work. So you're going to want to bring a breaker bar, other tools like that take the place of when your pneumatic or your battery operated impact gun doesn't work. Since I scouted out the car already, I already know what kind of condition the car's in. Turns out it was smashed up front. That might be a good reason that the engine's still in place, because it's something we're going to have to cut out. But because I scouted it beforehand, I'm going to know to bring my Sawzall, which is something I normally bring with me anyway, just in case. So now we're in the box, we're gonna grab our miscellaneous stuff. We're gonna grab our impact gun, our Milwaukee 18-volt Sawzall. What's cool about having all the same tools is that means you get to use all the same batteries, and that of course means the same chargers. That part I really like, so when one battery goes out, you always have a backup if you're bringing multiple power tools. When bringing the saw, remember to bring spare blades, because if you haven't cut a front end off before, you don't know what you need to cut, you don't know how many layers of steel, and learning you're gonna go through blade after blade after blade. There's nothing worse than going through all that trouble to cut it out and then run out of blades and have to leave and come back and maybe your stuff's gone because you were gone, and that meant it was free reign for somebody else to show up, kind of like me. So make sure to bring spare stuff. I have a new member of the family to introduce, and that's this 1/4-inch hex impact gun is what they call it. It comes with a smaller battery, but I did confirm it fits with the bigger battery as well. So if you ever get yourself in a situation where your smaller battery dies and you still have juice in the bigger guys, bam! I love it. Okay, so after much deliberation with myself, I thought it was in my best interest just to go ahead and pick her up first. So I'm supposed to be moving out of my house, cleaning the house, doing things like that so that I can get fully moved into my shop. She's coming to help me, but now she's gonna come yard with me. I wonder how she's gonna take it, because she doesn't know that this is going down.
Let me in.
She has arrived. You better hurry up and get a ticket. They're yelling at me.
Yeah.
You look like a girl.
I know.
You have like little things in your hair and everything.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so the reason I'm recording right now?
It's because you're a creep.
No, because I got on the junkyard app.
Yeah.
There's a car there. I inspected it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have to pull that engine out before we get to my house.
Okay.
I'm glad that you dressed to work. I mean, are you even wearing shoes?
Yeah. I mean, I have clothes. I can work.
Well, at least you look like a girl. I appreciate it.
I thought you might.
All right, we're back at the yard. It's been nearly 2 hours. There wasn't almost anyone here earlier this morning, and now the yard's plenty full of people. It is the weekend. Weekends are the most busy. That's when people are off work. I'm kind of nervous that maybe someone's already working on our car. We don't know yet. So, okay, we found our row. We're getting ready to walk down. Look, I got her doing some work here. We're walking down our row. It's been a while since we've been here. Now the question is, what do we do if we find somebody that's working on our car? Well, we're gonna ask them, like, hey man, what do you want off of this? You know, uh-oh, I think I see someone working on it right now. Yep, they got it. Wait a minute, that's not it. Man, she's doing a really good job. What I thought someone was working on was our car is actually not. Fortunately, this thing has been untouched, so we're gonna get to work. Let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna introduce Ashley. She's gonna be helping us today. She didn't know that she was gonna do this, so I think what we're gonna call this episode is How to Yard Like a Girl. Because we have so much to work on, we're gonna go by this really quickly. Unfortunately, we got a guy right over here already using an A-frame. It's right by us. We're gonna have to drop the whole engine, lower cross member. Actually, we're gonna have to drop the lower cross member and the... You know, I'm not sure what we're gonna have to do, but I do know that this one's crushed, and we're gonna have to cut the core support off to be able to get to it. I don't believe I'm gonna take the engine out of this one, so we're not gonna take that, but the shifter we're gonna take the transmission, we're gonna take the flywheel, we're gonna take the shift cables, the starter. Actually, we might need the starter because the starters share the same with the automatics, and I do have automatic starters. The engine I don't think we're gonna take because it's an A3, I already have one, and those don't sell very easily. Most people don't want them because they'd rather hold out, and that's another thing, right? So this is a 5-speed, not the 6-speed. So you got the guys complaining about how much the swaps cost, and maybe you do a B series over a K series because of costs. Well, when you're crying about needing a 6-speed or an LSD, that's why. While you're crying and complaining, we're going to be racing with our K swap. Christina, she's good with the woodworking tools. She likes to make things. She's a carpenter by trade. That's what she does. But does she work on cars? She changed her oil once, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you like that?
Yes.
But you like because you got to save $100.
Yes.
Where would you start?
Chop chop.
Boom, is that what you want to do? All right, she's never used this one, right? But I want you to see how easy it is to put a blade in there. Look, she's used one of these before, right? Mm-hmm. With the woods.
For the woods.
Boom, look how easy that was. It's already in. Did you check it? Did you make sure? Bam. And now how'd you do that?
Lifted that guy up.
And that's what locks it in?
Yep.
Slides in and out that way?
Yes.
Okay, nice. Bam, okay, look at that. Boom, let's do it. Okay, so you know how to cut things.
Yeah.
All right, if I were to cut this, I would look where the least amount of cutting would be. Okay, so first off, this looks like it can unbolt. So I might unbolt that first. And then the bumper here. Here, try to pull it, see what's in there. See if we can unbolt the bumper. I think I would try to unbolt what we can first to save our blades. To get to that, there's 2 here. There's probably 2 more on the bottom, but look, they're crushed. And that's exactly why we bring out the saw. I think what we'll start with first here is trying to cut this bumper out of the way. I just realized this is the alternator that we need for most of our swaps because the alternator plug comes in from the side, and also when using like K-tuner alternator relocators, that's the same alternator you need to use those as well. I don't know. We'll find out. Don't die.
It's not doing anything.
Okay, so this is something I learned. To make the blade last longer, first off, you're gonna press it all the way down so that this piece rests against there, and then you go slow. I showed her how to use the saw using a technique that I learned from my good friend Micah at Concept Fabrications. All right, by going slow with the blade, it allows the material to escape the teeth and keep it from getting clogged up so that it's actually cutting. Because it gets hot, the molten steel gets clogged into the teeth and then it doesn't cut anymore. And then that's also what wears the blade out faster as well. All right, so the bumper's off now. What did you think of that job?
It was tough.
Yeah? So what if I told you that we didn't actually have to cut that off? I just kind of made you do that.
I believe that.
You do?
Yeah.
Did you do it again?
Yeah.
What would you rather do?
Cut something else.
I'm gonna go over this way. Pull it off.
Okay.
Yep. Alright, so now we're gonna move this radiator. Now with the front bumper cut off and the radiator out, now you can start to see how we have like an open window here. We can pull the engine out from the front. The motor mount on the transmission mount is exposed. The front motor mount's exposed. But look over here, it's still crushed. This alternator I want, it looks like it's in good condition. So now Christina gets to cut some more. We've already determined we're gonna cut the headlight bucket out. Okay, she finished cutting that out. Now she's gonna grab the 1/4-inch hex impact gun by Milwaukee. It's an M18 also. Bam. The tool's pretty cool, huh? What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Easy, like it.
So we have these 2 here that we need to take off. There's still a belt on there, which actually would be a little bit easier if we just cut that belt. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take that belt out because it's no good there. You can see it's all beat up from the accident. So I'm taking a good look at this woman here. This is something I guess I didn't remember, but this is like years of experience. From years of experience, be mindful of what's on your hands and then not touch your face. It's all over her face, you know, so you'll see me use like the inside of my shirt to wipe my face off, or actually something else, but never my hands, because that poor girl, oh man, it's bad. Bam. And I'm gonna, ooh, this one's been taken off before. They got an aftermarket bolt in there. You could tell like the JIC bolts, that's gonna be the 12 millimeter. And then you have like the stuff made in the US, which is 13, you know, that's just annoying. So we're now removing the shift linkage, and I'm having her use a hose hook tool. That's what Snap-on calls it. Tell me what you guys use to get those little clips out, right? How do you dig in there? Well, you use this because it's like, here, don't cover it. Here, let's just try this. Put it right here so I can see and try to do it. See? No, not with that hand. Okay. So see how the hook gets in there and can pry it up? Tell me what you guys use to get those up, just out of curiosity. All right, it's a very hot July. We're underneath the car. There was a lot of stuff here that got removed that was just too hard to grab the camera for. But what we're working on right now is the shift linkage, okay? So we disconnected it from the transmission, and then there's lots of brackets that hold it to the body. There's 2 10s that hold it there. There's 2 10s that hold it there, and this is all shielded by that, okay? What's left now is the shift boots here, and look, check this out. Put my hands on it, I'm just gonna pull it out. And this is all that seals it from inside the body. Now, once we get the plastics off inside to expose the shifter, then most likely there's going to be 12 millimeter bolts that hold that in. 4 of them, which you can kind of see the bolt heads for here. Okay, we're moving right along. The heat is rising along with the tensions and her nerves. She's in here going to town. She's going to Pound Town on this friggin' center console. All we really need to worry and concern ourselves with is actually just getting to the bolts and loosen it up. Dang, you did work on here. You know, it's a good thing no one wanted any of this stuff, you know? So at least we got that going for us. What we really wanted to look for is just to see where the screws were to make it a little bit easier on us. But because it looks like we could actually access those 12s down there. So those 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. See this? The only thing that's going to be connected is the wiring harness. Take those 4 bolts out and this might lift straight out of the console. Now that the majority of it's removed. I'm going to work on the ECU, which is, oh man, see, I knew it. I was gone for 2 hours and dang, the ECU got snagged. It's like the first thing they came and got. Or maybe someone took it while we were working on the engine. Did you see anybody else working around in here? There's so many other things you could be doing right now. All right, so it looks like I'm gonna take this out so we can see what's going on. All right, and just kind of like look and assist like what needs to be done. So look, there's a bunch of brackets I can see that's kind of hanging up. Because I have experience doing this, so I was just kind of curious what one can learn from what I'm showing them. And I don't always show them all the things because I guess I just might assume that it's something you might all know. You want to be careful with it because we could break the cables. So I could see another bracket that it's kind of hanging up on down in there. So there it is. All right, so it just needs to twist at a certain angle, so we'll bring the cables down. All right, the cables are down. Twist the cables. So now just lift straight here. Okay, we're gonna pull back a bit. Okay, now pull up. There we go. Now I think we're in business. So just pulled everything out together. Bam. There we go. RSX shift cables. We got them. I think it's time to wheel over that A-frame over there in the corner, right in the corner of the screen there. We're gonna wheel that over. I think we're ready to try to start pulling this engine out. I'm still like debating whether I want to take the engine or not because there's a lot of accessories on this particular engine that I want, and sometimes they charge you awkwardly, and because things are separate, it might be to my benefit just to pull the engine as well, and then I have another swap for somebody else. All right, we got our seatbelt straps here. We're gonna wrap it around the engine mounts, the transmission side, and then the timing chain side. Okay, so Schlee25 says she hasn't tied a tie since she was 18.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. I think that's gonna work. Okay, we got one over here, and look, we're in business now. All right, so I'm gonna actually have her twist this thing up. Okay, hold on, make sure it's hooked. Go ahead and put that on.
This is just...
Yep, just keep going.
Keep going. Look, just look at the hook. That's what you're focusing on, okay?
I got a tip I'm going to show Ashley how to do. Christina, Ashley, I think you heard me call her a couple of names today. Most of them are her names though, so that's a good thing. She's got the impact gun, okay? With that gun, she's going to remove this bolt that I've already started, okay, but it just spins there. The wrench in her hand. She's going to stick the wrench in between the mount and the bolt head.
What's the mount? Is that the mount?
Yeah, boom. Okay, and then she's going to put the impact gun on the bolt head. And she's going to make sure it's going in reverse. Using the wrench, she's going to push back on the bolt head as she's putting the thing in reverse, making sure that this doesn't get jammed up against the headlight. Almost there. Bam! Look at you. Dude, you're a pro yarder. You got wound, you got dirty face, dirty fingernails.
Yard rat.
At least you don't look like one. Alright, there it is. This is our complete manual 5-speed. What's great about this is it also has the intermediate shaft in place. The ECU was already removed from this engine by the time I got back. It was here when I inspected it in the morning, 2 hours later after getting Christina, Ashley, whatever she wants to go by. So by the time I got back here, the ECU was gone, so it's whatever, but the ECU was, or I'm sorry, the wiring harness was unscathed. We're gonna use this. I think I decided because of time, I'm just gonna get the engine, because I don't got time to break it down. I'm gonna get the harness, but I am gonna take off the intake manifold because the throttle body's on there and I'm not gonna use the throttle body, and they're gonna charge me extra for that, so that'd be one less accessory. Just for weight too, I'm gonna take off the exhaust manifold. You saw many videos of just me removing that. She's gonna actually take the intake manifold off using a 1/4-inch X head impact socket. Go ahead. So we're gonna take off the front half of this. It's really easy to get to. We got boom, 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 boom. There you go. Boom! Look at you! Look at you! It's like, now what is this called again?
Manifold.
Sure.
Thing.
Oh dang, dude! Hold on, hold that spot right there. Dude, seriously, you're gonna be like totally stoked. Like flex it really hard right now, dude. You're a Wonder Woman. All right, we're gonna slide it right underneath it, but we're not gonna make sure they aren't gonna crush anything like this. There we go. All right, we got our engine out here. We're getting ready to use this engine hoist that they got set up right here. This engine combo, just engine, transmission, everything that we needed ended up costing us $350. You have to remember, I do have a membership here that saves me 20% off the retail. That's available for everybody, right? It costs $100 a year. Depending on how often you come here, it may end up paying for itself. I also do have a tax ID here, so I don't have to pay the taxes just yet. There's also things like a core charge. So they charge $25 for an engine core, they charge $20 for a transmission core, they charge a couple extra dollars for the alternator and starter as far as cores go. So you could save up to another $50 there. So grand total, engine, transmission, everything that we need, basically a complete swap with the engine harness. It's about $300. Not a bad pick for a day's worth of work. All right, let's take a look at you. Yep. Your face is clean.
I wiped it off already.
Yeah, okay. So tell me what you think. Do you find yourself doing this again? What do you say to all the women out there?
It's doable.
To all the women that I already do this, do you have?
They're Wonder Women.
Well, you're a Wonder Woman. I saw a little bit of veins popping out of your bicep there earlier. Okay, so you're visiting in town from Colorado. This is Arizona.
Yes.
Is this what's beating you up right now? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Yeah? Mm-hmm.
Coming from the crisp, cool Rocky Mountain air to the hot desert, tough.
So what you're saying is I'm pretty much
amazing.
Oh God! Hold on. Say that one more time slowly.
You are amazing.
There you have it. That's what she says. I'm amazing. So that means this video is amazing. And today was how to yard like a girl. Thanks again for watching. I hope you like it. Make sure to subscribe. Stay tuned for more how to yards. Make sure to check out our sister channel, the VTech Academy. Make sure to check out our website at hushperformance.com.